Okay, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you all the Spanish experience. First of all, I think that maybe when you are the last, it's an opportunity, but no, I'm just a bit depressed, I need to confess. Spain is quite different if you compare with this fantastic experience that they share this morning. And I will try just to show. First of all, I want to share with you that I'm just coming from a Spanish NGO, so I give another point of view, a social civility organization, and this is why I will try to understand, to share with you. Just to understand why I'm depressed, because if you can see, this is who are the companies that are giving the menus in Spain, and the first column is school food, and 70% of them it's only give for companies. So Robin said we don't need companies, but the reality in Spain is quite different, and this is our point of view. No? The other reality, I just to understand how Spain is working, I just 5 slides about the situation. Spain is a decentralized administration, so we need more than 10,000 buyers. In the case of the school food, it's mainly the regions, it's 17 regions, and the municipalities, there are a lot of. The school, in the 18 years, it's managed by the regional and municipality administration. And the case of the kindergartens, most of them are private, so we cannot get influence, and the other one is municipality. Okay, and one thing I think is very important just to understand the perception of food in the school is that this is a complementary service to education. It means that the families are paying the service, but the decision is taken by the competent public administration, or in some cases by the school manager, school director. So we can make some advocacy, but not take the decision. Okay. We have different types of service, and we are trying to manage this kind of difference or diversity. We have schools with kitchen, some schools without. The new policy, it's building the schools without kitchen, so it's more difficult just to try to cook inside. So they are, in the mentality of the Spanish government, it means that a catering, a big company just will serve these menus to Spain. And one very important thing is that the first criteria for the public procurement is the price. It's not quality, it's not sustainability criteria, it's only price. So who can manage with these criteria? Only the big companies that they can just offer prices down to the logical one. No? We try just to introduce the sustainability criteria. As Florence said, that we don't want organic food coming from the south of Spain, neither us. But imagine if we are talking about local food. In Spain, it's quite difficult because most of the organic food is coming from the south. So it's a big internal discussion how we can try to promote this local food not coming from the south. And now we are trying to talk about suppliers, not to organic, not to local, only to suppliers. It means that from the kitchen, from the field to the kitchen, we are trying to explain to only 2 suppliers. So in this case, maybe the big companies there are more suppliers in all the chain. So we try to change this mentality and to promote this criteria. In the good thing, or in the good part, we have a new government now in Spain. It's a Spanish central-left government coming by PSOE and Unidas Podemos, and in the agreement that they signed, they told that they want to promote the public procurement of foods for schools and hospital canteens as a model of quality and proximity food. The problem is that, as I told, this management is decentralized, so I don't know what they can do it. Maybe some guides, maybe some policies, maybe some, I don't know exactly how they will help us to introduce these criteria to change. Positive points, just to share positive aspects. In one hand, that after several years of work, civil society starts to demand the improvement of school feedings, basically in terms of health, as our colleagues say before. The mobilization allows us to change certain criteria. We have reduced processed food, fried food, but our challenge now is how to achieve, to give a more global vision on the demand and to introduce the sustainability criteria. In other hands, in some regions, we are building a multi-stakeholder articulations that give more consistency to demands. As I told, we are a Spanish NGO, small Spanish NGO, so we don't have any authority to advocacy with the local governments. So we think that the strategy was to make these articulations. Who are the players in these articulations? Mainly parents associations, consumers organizations, environment organizations, medical groups, and of course, all agricultural organizations. The strongest one is in Euskadi. Robin and Claudia shared a few months ago an event that we organized there. And it becomes a reference not only in the social civil society, also with the negotiations with the public administrations. Okay. Another positive things, but it's strange. It's just the administrative decentralizations. Why? Because when the government was not believe in this initiative, we try to, with local governments and municipal governments, try to develop some pilot experience, such as Canary Islands or the municipal schools in Madrid and Pamplona, or the Balearic Islands. Okay. Challenge that we have nowadays, a lot of them, but first of all, it's the most important, it's how just to know the capacity from the ecological food production to survive this public purchase, no? Because we are just trying to change, advocacy to change all these procurements, but we don't know if the local Spanish organizations, local, not industrial agriculture, can serve or can carry all this demand. So we think that the public procurement must step or must go at the same level than the process that we are thinking. As I said before, in the first table, we think that this public procurement should be a global policy that integrates agriculture, education, economy, health, and so on. In the same logic, on the demands that has always existed on the part of primary sector, is that there should be support mechanisms so that they do not have to take over everything. No? We are used that in the government thinks that the agricultures need to serve, needs to process, needs to do everything to commerce, and they don't have to do everything. No? And I think we think that they need policies to involve public administrations in order to facilitate this kind of process. And another challenge that we have is the power of the officials. The administrative people who write these procurements have to stop proposals with the argument that they are not viable or they are just they are not following the European Union criteria. This is the reason because we are trying to raising awareness of the issues in education and trying to understand and trying to show them the new social and legal context. For this reason, Justicia Alimentaria works with a legal specialist on public procurement just to make legal proposals and then try to sit them with this expert and discuss in the same level. Another one just is that the service, it's in Spain it's 2 hours service. It means the school meal it's 2 hours, but the time that they use to eat, it's usually between 30 and 45 minutes. It means that it's remaining 1.5 hours that we can regulate an education space. Nowadays, they used to play only without any education intention. we believe that it's an opportunity to work on feeding from an education perspective and linking it to the moment of the meal. The challenge is being development in regions, such Catalonia or in some nursery schools, but not as a level 1. And there is an opportunity that it's not working here, that's not right here, is that nowadays there is a big mobilization in Spain about feminism and climate change. I think that's not only in Spain, always all around the world and in Europe at least. We think that the challenge now is to show to show how these people can to show the impacts of our food system and how we can link with their struggles. No, I think that it's not separated problems. It's all part of the same problem. Just to end. As I said before, I'm working on representing a Justicia Alimentaria. It's a Spanish NGO formed by people who believe in the need to change current agricultural food system, which oppresses and expels rural communities and destroys the environment. The change requires the achievement of food sovereignty. What we are doing in this topic, just to end and to be on time, propose an advocacy for the inclusion of health and sustainable food in the school canteens, in different levels, at the national level, regional levels, and municipal levels. So it's difficult to try to adapt every discussion in every place. Facilitate the articulation between different actors, productions, consumption, mother and fathers, public organizations, local commerce, and so on. Support and training the associations of mother and fathers of students so they can also support the demands and at the same time follow up the inclusions of this criteria of green public purchase in the schools. They are the actors who are more linked with these situations. And finally, we are trying just to work not only with the parents associations, we are trying just to work in all the educative communications, just to give the coherence in all the world. No? If we think that food would be an education would be introduced in the education systems, it's necessary to work with all the companies. And finally, another thing, we are trying just always also to actions of awareness from the journalists to introduce the importance of sustainability criteria for the school caterings in the media that actually it's more influenced by the big companies in Spain. And thank you very much.